What happened here? I have to register? How do I register, Ra? What? Okay, if I hit enter and this works, it's just dumb. Do you know your archives? If you do, okay, weird flex. Anyway, if you don't, welcome to the video where we master the mystic arts of archives and learn what, when, and how to use them like a true wizard. Even if you do know your archives, might as well stick around and watch till the end. Compress that like button and archive the subscribe if you are new. Also, here's a quick and important shout out to at Asian Edu for helping me catch a channel that was literally stealing, speeding up, and re-uploading my videos with a watermark. Like, wow. Like, bro, at least have some dignity. At least credit me for stealing the thing. At least own up to it. And I don't know, I reported it to YouTube. I don't know if you'll do anything or not, but wow, that was a long intro. No time for Patreon or Discord today, so make sure to check those out. Let's dive straight in. First, let's meet the contenders. We have Zip, Tar, 7-Zip, and RAR. That was a weird way to say it, but it's RAR anyway. So first of all, before getting into anything, what the heck is an archive? In a very simple term, like when I say very, it's a very, very big oversimplification. When you archive or compress something, you're basically removing extra data that different file formats carry. Raw the file, I mean, like the more unprocessed the file is, the more access data there is. And I'll show you an example in a bit, so please do hold on. Also, there is a lot more happening under the hood, but that's the general idea. These are all basically algorithms. Anyway, let's break it down format by format. You can see our cute little file here which says compress.me, and this contains different types of files. Also, I forgot one. You know what? I'll just cut it. Paste it here. Anyway, so we have images, and in total, this file is 15.9 MB. So if you see that I in here, that's basically MB. It's not mega, it's MB. It's cute. So there we go. We have 4 files. It's 15.9 megabytes. So we'll see which one does the best and when to use them in situational cases. First up, we have zip. Now, to make archives and unzip them, if you are on a GUI based system, even on Windows, Linux, and Mac, you can use a GUI system. So on Linux, if you didn't know this, if you're using Arc or KDE or any system exactly, you have Arc. So ARK, this is an archiving tool which comes baked in with KDE. You can use it on other desktop environment as well. It will work. Again, this is Linux, so anything works with anything. Anyway, and then we have File Roller. So these two are the GUI based system to creating and extracting archives. So that's basically knowledge if you didn't know it. For Windows, we have WinRAR, we have 7-Zip. There's a lot out there, and I don't know clearly about what macOS uses, but it also has them. But here's the kicker. This zip format that we're talking about, the everyday hero, it supports every system. So we'll do it the Linux way. I think this also works on macOS. I'm not sure. So if any of you are Mac users, please do let me know. But I think it does. So first of all, let's install a few packages. So we'll do sudo. This is the command. I was testing it out a bit earlier. But now we have zip and unzip. So if you specifically want to work with zip and unzipping them, these are the packages we need. Pretty straightforward. Let's hit enter. I think I mistyped my password. Yep. Anyway, there you go. Now we have zip and unzip installed. How do we use them? Now with zip command, just type in zip. Now you can see there is a command already here. Now I won't be using this. I'll first show you what does this 7VR mean. So this number right here, you can change it to 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9, depending on how much compression you want to apply to it. And then the V in here is for verbose. If you see my prompt right here, it does say what every single one of them does. And if you want a tutorial on how to get this system right here, let me know in the comments. I'll make a separate video detailing on how to get these features up and running. But what we're doing is V is basically verbose. So it will tell us what everything is happening, how much compression is everything getting, that kind of thing. Then we have R. R is basically recursive. So it will go through this folder recursively, and even a folder inside a folder, it will go through all of them and compress the entire folder itself. This is important if you want to compress the whole folder. Keep that in mind. Now, if I hit enter, you'll notice it got compressed. Now here, this is why I gave the V option. So you see, it says this JPG right here, it got deflated by 2%. This AVI got deflated basically means how much compression, like how much this is compressed, 26%. It's also saying how much did the file enter with and how much got out. And then we have the MOV file which got 25% and the WAV file which got 10%. So this is the compression ratio that everything got. And it says we overall saved 13%. So now let's see the file size itself. You can see this is 13.9 megabytes. If you remember, we were on 15.9. So it compressed 2 whole megabytes or megabytes, whatever. As you can see, it's great, but this is not the best compression. It's great. Yes, obviously it's great, but this is not the best. We will show it in the later parts of the video. There are better options. So if you are using Linux or even Mac, there are better options. So now let's decompress it. So uncompress it, which is basically unzip, and then just the file name. So if I want to just uncompress it right here, compress.zip. If I just hit enter, oh, it is trying to compress it in the same file. I think I should this command right here. Now we already have this compress me. So if I just rename it temporarily, just so you can see if this even works. So if I do this, okay, so it got inflated. Now, do we have the same amount of data? If we just hit properties, as you can see, it's the same. It's already in 15.9. So the compression works. Now we'll just delete this. And basically what I would say that wherever you want to extract it, just go to that directory and then do unzip. It makes things a lot easier. So yeah. Anyway, that was zip. Zip it, ship it, and forget it. Next up, we have tar. Now, if you didn't know this, tar actually doesn't compress the files. So let me just quickly show you this. So if I just want to create a bundle of files, I'll just use tar for this. If I do tar, as you can see, there is a lot of things, which is C being create a new archive. So actually this extension is so helpful. I won't tell you this. I'll say it only if you guys want me to. So we'll do C, create an archive. And then we want F. So specify archive files or device. So F. And let's just do V for good measure. Now, as you can see, I didn't tell him anything. If I just do compress me, then if I hit, so this is my folder. I want to do this to compress.tar. So just compress.tar. This is the thing that I want. If I do this, if I hit enter and this works, it's just dumb. Yep. Anyway, this is basically how you have to type the command. You know what? Just join the Patreon to see the behind the scenes and troubleshooting that goes into these videos. You just have to put the F in the end. And yeah, that's stupid. Well, now we know. So now we have compressed this, and as you can see, the file size remained the same. It's really 15.9. And while we're at it, let me show you how tar actually compresses the file. So how the compression actually happens. So this is the command that we previously typed, where we said compress.tar. Now there are a few different ways how tar can compress files. One of them being gzip. So this has pretty decent compression. So if I do tar.gz, which is probably a really common one, and to use gz, make sure to add z or z, whatever I like to say, onto your command. So all your flags, make sure to add this z if you want to use gz compress. So if I do enter, now this one has a tar.gz extension to it, and as you can see, this compressed it to 13.9. So there is some kind of compression that is happening. There is some kind of compression that is happening, and it is the same as I would say the zip, which also did the same thing. If I open this, see all the files are present and they are in the directory itself, which is great. Now what else do you have? There is also something called bzip. So for using that, let me just go here. If I just do tar.bz2, And then in the replace the Z with a J, hit enter, you'll see there is another format which is b.c, and it is even more compressed. It's 13.2. So basically there is another one. Wait for it. We'll talk about all of them at once in a little bit. Now the last option is xz, so which is x and z, and make sure to replace the J with a capital J. And if I just hit enter, you'll see this takes a bit of time because this is even more compressed. It is 10.8 megabytes. Like I said, wait for it. There are better options than zip. So if you're purely moving between Linux and Mac OS, this is amazing because you can compress it down a lot. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Files cannot be compressed infinitely. Like there is a point of diminishing returns where if something is highly optimized, like MP4 for example, it's pretty optimized, it may not work as well as you think. But something like a Blu-ray for example, which is like huge file size, maybe you have ISOs that are like really big, maybe you have game files which are like really huge and you want to send it to your friend, then you can use this type of subcompression to really compress it down. But now keep in mind, the harder the more compression your system does, the more system resources it takes. So if you've seen Linus Tech Tips videos, you'll see they'll sometimes test the 7-zip test. If you haven't noticed it, that's exactly why they test it, because each tests the CPU. When something is being compressed, there is a lot of calculation that goes on, which basically tells the system, okay, these data can be removed, this has to be kept. So what is basically getting removed? So that's a great thing to keep in mind. Now, how do we actually extract all of this? We have like the file itself. How do we extract it? Now, it's really simple. The same way we compress them, I'll just show you one of them. So the exact same way you have to do it, which is the way we created them. So let me give you this one, the most compressed one, xz. Just replace the C with an X and make sure to keep the J, Z, or if you haven't used anything, keeping it the same, because tar has to know what we are actually extracting. And let's see. Now I'll just remove this. Can I create a file with this? Let's see. I mean, let me just delete this. Since we have all of this, let me just delete this, this, and this. Now we have this one file. Let me just extract it, and there we go. Now, if I just check this, it is the same 15.9 megabytes or 15.9 megabytes. So basically, the compression works. So here's the pointer. Plain tar just are wraps. So if you want to just bundle a bunch of files and send it to your friends, to if you're using a service that can take one file at a time, then just using the tar format will do just fine. To just bundle all the files together. You don't use any system CPUs, or you don't stress it too much because it's just making a single file. So it's like putting it in the pack. But if you want shrinking, call in gzip, bzip2, or xzip to do the heavy lifting. Now that's all good and dandy. We have zip, we have tar. And for tar, it doesn't work with Windows, like at least not by default. You need very specialized software to do things, but just stick to zip if you are using Windows. Anyway, then we have the ninja of archives, which is 7-zip or 7z. It has crazy good compression, so saves a ton of space, but it's not always installed by default. You need specialized software to do it. So how do we actually do that? If I do sudo pacman, so for arc at least, the command is this p7zip. In case you're wondering, the GUI version do support all of these formats, so make sure to check those out, or maybe just follow along this video so you can check out how much compression you can do. So we'll need this package right here. If I hit enter, give me a password, there you go. And once it is installed, now we want to compress this again. Let's see how good of a compression can it do. We can do 7-zip, 7z. As you can see, I did test it. So if I do compress me, no, it needs to be compressed.7z. Make sure to keep the file format. Do not forget this. And then this. So if I do enter, let's see what happens. And there we go. It has been compressed. Let's see how much it compressed. If you have noticed, it does say here, but it's only 8.4 megabytes or megabytes, whatever. Anyway, it's only 8.4. So you can see where the compression comes in and why a team like LTD tests 7-zip, because it compresses like crazy. So if you have a file that's like tens of gigabytes, then and you need to make it as small as possible, then yeah, go with 7-zip. 7-zip will put your huge files on a hardcore diet plan and it will achieve wonders. Anyway, we'll delete this again. We want to extract it from here. How do we extract it? We do 7-zip x and then compress.7z. If I hit enter, and there you go, it has been extracted. If I hit properties, as you can see, same 15.9 megabytes of file, but it fitted it into 8.4 megabytes. It almost half the size. So that is great. Now for our next conductor, which is RAR. I will never do that again. Do not clip that or do anything. So RAR is the gatekeeper. RAR is like the rich kid who charges you just to hang out. It has good compression, perfect for splitting large files, but it's proprietary. But for RAR, we have again multiple tools, like again you just have to change the package manager for other distributions, and Windows and Mac do have their own zip unzipping. So if you are worried about that, yeah, now we need these two packages. If I hit, oh no, not unzip, we need unrar. Okay, RAR is not found. Yep, I got RAR working. You know what, just check out the Patreon on how these things are done. I won't tell it to you. I'll just give you a hint. It's done with, it has to do something with the user repository. You can do anything you want with this information, but I'll just give the full video to my Patreons. If you guys are interested in checking that out, do check that out. Also, go to my Discord server and hang out. So let's go with the compression. So if I do RAR A and then just compress me, hit enter. I think yeah, this does compress it. Okay, I think, do I have to do this? I don't think so. Yeah, it was correct. I just understood what happened. You guys are probably screaming at me. Anyway, compress.rar, and then I have to do this. Okay, now if I do enter the draw. Okay, yeah, now it works. My bad. I'm actually sorry. Yeah. Anyway, let's check the compression. Okay, it's 10.3 megabytes, so it's great. It's the same as the XZ format. So tar.exe, it's the same as that. I think they are probably using the same algorithm. I don't know. Compress.rar does to compress it pretty nicely, and apart from evaluation copy, please register. And this being wrong, it's pretty great. Anyway, the reason why RAR is great is because it has really nice error protection. So if you need something to survive the apocalypse, probably just go with RAR. Now, how to decompress this? It's again, I think it's the same as unrar. I think I can use unrar, or we can do rar and then just decompress it. Anyway, I'll just delete this, and then we do unrar and then do e compress.rar, hit enter, and that was done. It didn't save it as a file, it did it like not a file. I'm kind of mad, but you know what, fine, I probably did something wrong. Anyway, that was the video. So now, quick guide, let's do rapid fire round. Choosing the right archive format. Just need to work everywhere, best just go with zip. Backup and bundling tons of Linux file, tar.gz or tar. Need maximum compression, 7-zip. Need multi-part archives or need to survive the apocalypse, go with RAR. Alright, now you're armed with the tools, the knowledge, and probably enough commands to sound like a hacker to your friends. Let me know in the comments which archive formats do you use the most, which is your favorite. And there are a few bloopers in this video. Make sure to check out my Patreon. I kept all the bloopers in, and all the mistakes I made, everything is in there. So make sure to check that out. It's quite entertaining. And remember, compress that like button, subscribe if you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.